Chair, I don't know why the minister is telling me about advisory councils. There's no one in South Africa who doesn't know that there are advisory bodies. Even the presidency has gotten advisory bodies. But if the advisory body of the president takes that advisory body so serious that it even tells him who must be a judge in South Africa, who must be a minister in South Africa, who must be a commissioner in South Africa, then the people of South Africa deserve to know who are these advisors to the minister. The minister can't say to us, he can't tell, I know that the advisors, can't say let's know the law, the advice. I know the advisor, that's not my question. My question is, who are these advisors to the minister that the minister listens to and takes so seriously that she takes very big and critical decisions in the department? Why is the minister refusing to tell us? Who are these advisors that are advising you, minister? Who are the names? Who are the profiles of this independent panel that you take so seriously, that told you who to put in the SEITAs, that told you who to put in the NSFAS board, that tells you who to put as university council deployees? Who are your advisors? Is it your mother? Is it your sister? Is it your friend? Is it a boyfriend? Is it a girlfriend? The people of South Africa must know, where are decisions of higher education taken? You find that a decision is taken in a tavern, we don't know. Because clearly these advisors are more important than all of these officials of Department of Higher Education which are sitting here. Why can't you say, no, the DG advises me? No, the DDG advises me. There is a group, there is a clique in higher education that advises the minister, yet the minister does not want to tell us who these advisors are. So because of time, I'm asking you a yes or no question. And I'm going to follow up on this, you can rest assured. And we're going to get the names of those advisors. I just want, at least on record, to get an understanding from you so that I can move on to the next question. Are you willing to tell us who are these people that advise you to make appointments to SEITAs, to make appointments in NSFAS, to make appointments to universities, to make appointments at TVET colleges? Yes or no? So that I can move on to the next question. Thank you, Minister.
I think we need to understand that even with the system of the judges in South Africa, they do have assessors, private assessors who
Chairperson.
Listen, I'm still responding to the question. I'm not going to respond to yes or no. I'm not in court.
No, this is not a court.
I'm not in court. I'm not going to respond in yes or no.
Chairperson, you advised the minister on the issue of time.
Yeah.
I simply want to understand if the minister is willing to tell us the panel. If she's not willing to, she must say, I don't want to tell you who advises me. And then I've got a mechanism to find out who advises her. And I'm going to find out who's advising her. But I don't want her to waste my time by giving me a preamble of South African law that I know, by the way. I'm a lawmaker. I'm here. I write laws. Can't tell me about laws. I'm asking the minister a simple question. I don't have time, Chair. Is the minister willing to tell the people of South Africa? Is the minister willing to tell this committee? Is the minister willing to be open, transparent, and accountable and tell us who advises her to make deployments to NSFAS, to make deployments to SEITAs, to make deployment in institutions of higher learning? If she's not willing, she can just say, I'm not willing. So that I can move on to the next question, Chairperson. I'm asking you now, Chair, not the minister. Please, can you assist in this process?
So it is not compulsory for me to disclose the independent assessor, the independent panel that is assisting the minister. I'll first find out from them, get consent, if they are happy that I disclose their names. I cannot just come here and disclose information. I need to comply with the relevant legislation. I'm not going to respond to yes or no, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a no.
Unfortunately, I only hear about these measures that have been taken against me on social media. There is nothing of that nature. I go to Luthuli House from time to time as a deployee of the African National Congress, and yesterday I was in the cabinet with the president. There is no discussion of this nature. However, if maybe it is still coming, because some people can speculate and see things before they could happen.
South Africa, we're talking about the spectacular crash and burn of Higher Education Minister Nobuhle Nkabane, a woman with a CV longer than a Joburg traffic jam who still couldn't keep it together. Fired July 21, 2025, she's the latest poster child for the ANC's 3-decade-long masterclass in incompetence, corruption, and running this country into the ground. Since the ANC took over in 1994, it's been one blunder after another, with qualified ministers tripping over their own egos while the nation pays the price. And don't even get me started on how their racial laws like BEE have sidelined skilled folks, especially whites, and helped tank South Africa's potential. Let's dive into this mess, unpack the facts, and shine a light on why qualifications don't mean competence when it comes to the ANC. Get ready, because this is going to be a proper rant. Let's dive into Nobuhle Nkabane's story. At 45 years old, she's got an impressive list of qualifications: a national diploma in commercial administration, a bachelor's degree, a master's, a doctorate from the University of KwaZulu-Natal, plus international certificates from Stellenbosch in France. She's been a loyal ANC member since her youth league days, rising to become an MP in 2019 and snagging the Higher Education Minister role in July 2024. On paper, she looks like the perfect fit. But here's the catch. Less than a year later, on July 21, 2025, President Cyril Ramaphosa fired her, and it's easy to see why. Nkabane got caught in a scandal so obvious it's almost absurd. Except it's downright maddening. She filled the boards of sector education and training authorities' setters with ANC cronies, including Gwede Mantash's son, Buyambo, and heavyweights like former KZN Premier Nomusa Dube-Ntuli and ex-MEC Mike Mabuyakulu. When Parliament questioned her, she claimed an independent panel led by advocate Terry Motau chose them. But Motau denied any involvement, and it turned out the panel was just her own staff, a chief of staff, a chief director, and a corporate services director. Classic ANC favoritism. The DA pounced, filing criminal charges for fraud and misleading Parliament, and now the Hawks are investigating. Public outrage forced her to scrap the appointments in May 2025, but the harm was done, and Ramaphosa had no choice but to show her the door. Now, let's take a step back. Doesn't this just make you want to scream? Here's a minister with every qualification under the sun, yet she's allegedly pulling stunts like lying to Parliament and handing out plum jobs to her ANC mates. If that's not a neon sign flashing incompetence, I don't know what is. But here's the real kicker. Nkabane's not an outlier. She's just the latest in a long line of ANC ministers who might have the degrees but lack the competence to actually deliver. Since 1994, the ANC has turned cadre deployment into an art form, placing loyalists in key positions regardless of whether they can do the job. And it's not just about corruption, though there's plenty of that. It's about a systemic failure to prioritize ability over allegiance. Let's look at a few other examples to drive this home, because trust me, Nkabane's got company. Take Angie Motshekga, the former basic education minister, now shunted to defense. She's got a solid academic background, bachelor's degrees, a higher diploma in education, and a master's from Wits. Sounds like she should have been a star, right? But under her watch from 2009 to 2024, South Africa's education system became a global embarrassment. The 2022 Pearl study showed 81% of grade 4 learners can't read for meaning. 81%! Schools are falling apart, teachers are undertrained, and textbooks often don't arrive on time. Posts on social media have been brutal about her tenure. With one user, Tokyo Treff, summing it up, Angie Motshekga has consistently failed as basic education minister, but she keeps getting the job. It shows you that the ANC will always reward incompetency and failure. And yet, despite this track record, she's now in charge of the military. Good luck to us all. Then there's Thulas Nxesi, the former Minister of Employment and Labour. He's got a BA in political science and a teaching diploma, but his tenure's been a disaster for a country with a youth unemployment rate of nearly 60%. Instead of tackling the jobs crisis, He's been slammed for defending the hiring of foreigners in sectors like trucking and farming, even suggesting quotas for them while South African youth beg for work. One social media post from Ndabeni-Abrahams put it bluntly: he is Minister of Employment and Labour, yet youth unemployment is highest in Africa. He even wanted quotas for foreigners. Qualified? Sure. Competent? Not a chance. And let's not forget Stella Ndabeni-Abrahams, now Small Business Development Minister. She's got a diploma in project management and a master's in public administration, but her track record is a comedy of errors. As Communications Minister, she oversaw the botched digital migration process, leaving South Africa years behind schedule. Now, as Nadia Ferreira85 pointed out on social media, she's one of many ANC appointees who seem to coast on loyalty rather than results. A 2025 Daily Maverick article called her out for doing little to champion small businesses, which are desperate for support in a country where SMEs are collapsing under red tape and load shedding. These examples paint a grim picture. Qualifications don't guarantee competence when the ANC's calling the shots. Since 1994, they've prioritized cadre deployment over merit, and the results are everywhere. Unemployment's at 32.9%, with youth joblessness closer to 60%. GDP growth has been stuck below 1% for years, while countries like Rwanda are leaving us in the dust. Eskom's a shambles, with load shedding costing 4 billion rands a day at its peak. Transnet's ports and railways are so mismanaged that exporters are losing billions. And don't even get me started on municipalities. 80% are financially distressed, with 1.3 trillion rands in irregular expenditure since 2004, according to the Auditor General. That's money for schools, hospitals and roads, siphoned off by corrupt cadres. Now, let's talk about the ANC's racial laws, like black economic empowerment and affirmative action, which have been twisted into tools for exclusion rather than empowerment. System run deep. But when you design policies that effectively bar skilled whites from jobs and contracts, you're not just hurting them, you're hurting every South African who relies on a functioning system. It's no wonder people are angry. As Tomoisa Voice 2025 posted on social media, the ANC's racial laws are killing SA's potential. We need skills, not skin color, to fix this mess. The post hit a nerve, with thousands chiming in to vent their frustration. So how's this tied to Nkabane? Well, her SEITA scandal is a textbook case of ANC cadre deployment, putting party loyalists in key positions regardless of their ability to do the job. When you prioritize ANC cronies over skilled professionals, you get a higher education system where NSFAS is a mess, students are living in squalor, and TVET colleges are failing to produce employable graduates. Nkabane's defenders might say she was qualified, but qualifications mean nothing if you're playing dirty. The DA's Karabo Kakao nailed it when she said, Nkabane misled Parliament with a scheme of deception to conceal grand cadre deployment corruption. That's not just incompetence, it's criminal. And yet, until Ramaphosa finally acted, she faced zero consequences, which tells you everything you need to know about the ANC's priorities. Let's zoom out for a moment. What's the cost of this obsession with racial quotas and cadre deployment? A country that's falling apart at the seams. Our education system, once a beacon in Africa, is now a global embarrassment. The 2022 Pearls study showed that 81% of grade 4 learners in South Africa can't read for meaning. Our universities, which used to attract international students, are now plagued by protests, underfunding and mismanagement. NSFAS, meant to help poor students, has lost 1.4 billion rands to fraud and mismanagement since 2020. And when you sideline skilled professionals, white, Indian or otherwise, you're not just hurting them, you're hurting every South African who relies on a functioning system. It's no wonder people are angry. So, what's the way forward? Here's where you come in, South Africa. Do you want a country where bridges don't collapse, where students get their allowances on time, and where ministers aren't dodging Parliament to cover up their dodgy deals? Then it's time to make your voice heard. The ANC's been getting away with this for too long, and it's up to us to hold them accountable. Have you or someone you know been passed over for a job because of racial quotas? Let's get this conversation going, because silence is what keeps this mess alive. Before I wrap up, let's talk about what's at stake. South Africa is at a crossroads. We can keep limping along with an ANC that's more interested in protecting its own than building a future, or we can demand better. Nkabane's firing is a start, but it's not enough. We need a complete overhaul, a government that values competence, transparency, and accountability over party loyalty in racial politics. Imagine a South Africa where jobs go to the best candidates, where infrastructure is maintained, and where our kids have a shot at a decent education and a job. That's the dream, and it starts with us. So, here's my challenge to you. Join the fight for a better South Africa. Subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, and share this video with everyone you know. It costs you nothing, and it's the easiest way to spread the word. If you're feeling extra passionate, join our channel membership or drop a super thanks donation to keep this content coming. And don't skip the ads. Let them play for at least 30 seconds to support the cause. Together, we can hold the ANC's feet to the fire and demand a country that works. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button now and let's make some noise.